So let's talk about projections. So what we have seen is algebraic projections on vector spaces over the field F, where P is a linear map in this case, and so P is a linear map from V to V. So it is on the home of V to V, and such that P square is equal to P. So this is idempotent property. Okay. We have also seen projections on Banach spaces, so continuous projection. Here on Banach spaces. So what do we mean by that? So P is a map from B to B. So V is a Banach space, complete metric space, and is also a vector space, and so on. It's a norm-linear space complete with respect to the norm over the field F. F is R or C. That is, P is this map, and P is given to be linear. P is given to be continuous, and P square idempotent. P is idempotent. Apart from algebraic, so apart from one additional property, what we have is that we require P's conditions. Three conditions are satisfied. So this is idempotent means P square is P. P square is P. Okay, that is the thing. So every Banach spaces projection on a Banach space is algebraic projection. We have also seen that this projection gives rise to what? Gives rise to two closed subspaces. M and N, such that V could be written as M direct sum N, where M is nothing but the image of P, and N is nothing but the kernel of P, or the null space of P. Now what we are going to deal in the Hilbert spaces is the self-adjoint operator. So the topic here is the projection on Hilbert spaces. Since every Hilbert space is Banach space, if P is given to be continuous projection on H, Hilbert space, let's say H, then what we have certainly is that the H is nothing but M direct sum N, where M is the image set of the P and N is the null space or the kernel of P. This is the case. Now the point is that what we want is that we want the space, null space, to be perpendicular. So we'll focus on what we want. We wish, or rather, M is equal to N perpendicular, or N is equal to M perpendicular. They are perpendicular spaces of each other. N is equal to M perpendicular. That is what we also we want to have a situation here. H is equal to what? M direct sum M perpendicular. So let's try to look at the things over here. So proposition. If P is a projection on H, with range M and null space N, then M perpendicular to N if and only if P is what operator? Is a self-adjoint operator. Adjoint. And in this case, N is equal to M perpendicular. Okay. Proof. Each vector z belonging to H can be written z is equal to x plus y, where x belongs to M and y belongs to N, where this is the image space and this is the null space, and x and y are unique. This is important. Z is x plus y. Now we prove this way proof. So if we assume M is perpendicular to N, so the image space is perpendicular to N, then what we want to show? We want to show that P is a self-adjoint operator. P is a self-adjoint operator means what? We want to show that P star is equal to P. This is what we want to show. Now, if M is perpendicular to N, consider the following thing. So let's look at inner product of P star Z with Z. This would be the same thing as inner product of Z with this P star over P star star, which is P of Z, which would be the same thing as inner product of Z with P of Z. Z is x plus y. Z is x plus y. So P is the projection on M. It would be just x. So P of Z would be x. P is projected onto M. This is the null space. So what do we get is over here. But what is Z? Z is nothing but, let's write x plus y comma x, which is the same thing as inner product of x with x plus inner product of y with x. But y is in M and x is in N, so this value is 0. So what we have just shown is that inner product of P star of Z with Z is nothing but inner product of x with x. Okay. Now, if we also consider the following, inner product of Pz with Z, this is what? Pz is nothing projection onto Z. So Z is x plus y. This is in M, this is in N. P is projecting on M, so it's just x. So this is x comma x plus y, which is the same thing as inner product of x with x plus inner product of x with y. Now, what happens is that this y is in N. So what do we get? Y is in N in the previous case. So this is perpendicular space. So these two things are perpendicular to each other. So what do we get? This is 0. So inner product of Pz with Z, this is also x comma x. They are in perpendicular spaces and so on. And inner product of P star Z with Z is also x comma x inner product. So what do we get is that inner product of P star Z comma Z, this is the same thing as inner product of Pz comma Z for all Z belonging to H. Shifting this on the left hand side, so what do we get is that inner product of P star minus P of Z comma Z, this is equal to 0 for all Z belonging to H. Now if this is 0, what does that imply? This implies that P star is equal to P. Okay. That proves this part also. So if it is if M is perpendicular to N, it is self-adjoint. Okay. Now converse, let's look at the converse. Conversely, if it is given that P star is equal to P, and we want to show that M is perpendicular to N, or M perpendicular is N. So first let's show this thing. So what do we have this thing? P star equal to P. So if we consider inner product of X with Y, where X belongs to M, Y belongs to N. This would be the same thing as, because it is a projection, X is P of X, it's the image range space, so Px comma Y, which is the same thing as inner product of X comma, shifting this on the right hand side, this is P star of Y. M is the characterization, M is if and only X is equal to P of X. That is another characterization we have seen. So P star of Y. But P star is again P. This is given. We'll use this fact. So this is X comma P of Y. X comma P of Y, which is nothing but Y is in the null space. So P projection is on M. So this is 0. X comma 0, which is equal to 0. So that implies that X is perpendicular to Y. But X and Y, they are any elements in. So they were any elements. So what do you get from here? X is perpendicular to Y. So we get that M is perpendicular to N. Okay. What we want to show is that so M is perpendicular to N. We wish to show that in fact N is equal to M perpendicular. Okay. That is what we want to show. Now, by the previous thing, it is clear that N is contained in M perpendicular. N is contained in M perpendicular. Okay. If N is properly contained in M perpendicular, N is a closed subset since kernel of P, closed subset of M perpendicular. M perpendicular is a closed subset of, or rather subspace of H. Okay. So it's a M perpendicular itself is a Banach space in itself. So what do we get is that the closed subspace is there, and this is a Banach space, or it's a Hilbert space in itself, having in a product. Now what do we get is that by previous proposition, what we can apply is that on a Hilbert space we have a closed subspace, so there exists a vector, so there exists Z0 belonging to M perpendicular, such that Z0 does not belong to N, and, or rather what we can say is that Z0 is not equal to 0 and Z0 is perpendicular to N. Okay. So since Z0 belongs to M perpendicular, this implies that Z0 is perpendicular to M. It's in a perpendicular space, and Z0 is also perpendicular to M. But what do we have? We have that H is M direct sum N. So in other words, this implies that it is perpendicular to M. So if Z is equal to small z is X plus Y, it is perpendicular. This means that Z is so Z inner product, is clearly implies that inner product of Z with Z0, this is 0 for all Z. So this implies that Z0 is perpendicular to H. Z0 is perpendicular to H, that means what? That means that Z0 has to be 0. Z0 is already, since Z0 is belonging to H, that implies that Z0 is the 0, the only vector perpendicular, only vector in H perpendicular to every vector in H is the 0 vector. But this is contradiction. This is contradiction. Since what do we have? We have that Z0 is given to be what? Non-zero vector. So our assumption is false. And what we are claiming, what assumption is that N is properly contained. So N is nothing but M perpendicular, and we are done. 0 belonging to B of H, identity belonging to B of H are linear, continuous, and they satisfy idempotent, and they are also self-adjoint. All of this thing is that, so this implies that 0 and I on H, where H is Hilbert, are projections on a Hilbert space. On Hilbert space. This is P star is equal to P. This is P square is equal to P. This is continuity and this is linearity. Okay. Now kernel of P is nothing but the image of I minus P, and the image of P is nothing but the kernel of I minus P. Okay. So what do we get? Kernel of P, image of I minus P. So the point is here is that if you have the null space of and they get reversed and so on. So the kernel of 0 map, if you take to be 0 map, P equal to 0 map, then it is nothing but I minus 0. It is the kernel of 0 map is the image of this thing, and the image of identity map is the kernel of the 0 map. So both of them are projections. That is, what do we have? And if H is not equal to 0 space, then these are distinct. Both of these are distinct projections. So what we had a proposition in the just beginning the Hilbert space is that if M is a closed linear subspace of Hilbert space H, then H could be written as M direct sum M perpendicular. Okay. H could be written as M direct sum M perpendicular. What do we have from here is that if you take any Z, then put this in belonging to H, then Z is nothing but X plus Y, where X belongs to M and Y belongs to where? M perpendicular. Okay. X belongs to M, Y belongs to M perpendicular. So the point is that we can define a projection in this case. And what this would be, P of Z as X, then image space of P would be M, and the kernel of P would be M. Similarly, if we had defined, so I minus P would be a projection, and of Z would be nothing but Y. So it's a projection on N. And what would happen in this case? In this case would be that P I minus P of if you look at this thing, so the image of this thing, so image of this set is nothing but N, and the kernel of I minus P is equal to M. So projections could be defined on a Hilbert space. A Banach space, a simple closed linear subspace, may not give this thing. If it is M direct, so M perpendicular, so P is clearly self-adjoint, linear, continuous. Okay. The characterization of M would be what? M is nothing but the collection of all those Px such that X belongs to H, either this thing, or collection of all Z such that P of Z is Z. P of X is X, collection of this thing. So P of X plus Y rather is X. An observation what we have is the following. If P is a projection on M, that is if and only if I minus P is projection on M perpendicular. Okay. If P is a projection, so what do we have? If P is a projection on M, then X belongs to M if and only if what happens? P of X is equal to X. That is if and only if what happens? Norm of Px is equal to norm of X. Okay. What is clear from here is this is clear, this is what we have seen, and this way is clear. Okay. What we want is the converse also. So if Px is equal to X, the norm of Px is norm of X. That clearly implies the converse. So for this part of implications, we want this thing. So converse will show, needs to be shown. Okay. So for that sake, let's look at the following argument. Let X belongs to H. Okay. Then we have the following. X could be written as P of X plus I of X minus P of X, where I of X is the identity map. I of X is equal to X, clearly. So this is nothing but P of X plus I minus P of X. This is X. So norm of X would be the same thing as norm of Px plus I minus P of X. So the norm of X square is equal to norm of Px plus I minus P of X whole square. Observe that these two things are perpendicular, Px and I minus P. Okay. Why is it so? So inner product of Px comma I minus P of X, this is the same thing as inner product of Px comma Ix minus Px, which is the same thing as Px comma X minus P of X. Okay. X minus P of X. This and this. So this is nothing but inner product of Px with X minus inner product of Px with Px. Okay. This is this one. Now, if you shift on this thing, that would become what? Px with X. This is the first term as it is, inner product of Px with X. The second term over here, minus inner product of P star P, X with X. What is P star? P star is P. P is given to be, since P star is P, what do we get? P star P is the same thing as P into P, which is P square, and P square is P. So what do we get? This is inner product of P square, Px with X. Px with X minus Px with X. So this becomes just, this term becomes this term with negative sign. So subtraction is 0. So what do we get is that these two terms, this term and this term, they are perpendicular to each other. Okay. So if they are perpendicular to each other, then what do we have? Is that norm of X square would be nothing but the norm of Px, Pythagoras theorem. By Pythagoras theorem. Okay. Norm of x square is Pythagoras theorem. So the point is that okay, if at all it is given, if norm of x is given to be norm of p of x, so norm of x square is the same thing as norm of p of x whole square. Norm of x square is this term. So let's write this term. Norm of p of x whole square plus norm of I minus p of x this square. This is equal to norm of px this square. So this cancels with this thing. Okay. What does this imply? This implies that norm of I minus p of x whole square, this is 0. So that implies that norm is 0. So I minus p of x, this is 0. This is what? X minus p of x, this is 0. So that is implies that x is equal to p of x. So that is what we have proved. So on a Hilbert space, we have used the perpendicularity to show this one. Since for any x in M, so what do we have is that norm of p of x. So this is x belonging to h. Okay, and what do we had? That norm of x square was norm of p of x whole square plus norm of I minus p x whole square. Okay, this clearly shows that if you look at this thing and this thing, we have to add something here. So adding something. So norm of px square is less than equal to norm of x square for all x belonging to h. This is true. So we can just remove the squares also by taking square root of this thing. So what do we get is that divided by norm of x. This clearly implies that norm of p is less than equal to, you divide this thing over here, is less than 1. 1 is a real number. If we do the same argument over here, in spite of p of x considering, we consider this and put over here. So what do we get is that I minus p. So that what do we get over here? I minus p of x. Then this is clearly the happening, and over here what would happen is that I minus p. I minus p. Okay. So norm of I minus p is less than equal to 1. So norm of p is less than equal to 1. Norm of I minus p is less than equal to also 1. So P is a projection on M of Hilbert space H. Okay. Then what we are saying is that P is a positive operator. So what do we have? Inner product of Px with x. Inner product of Px with x. This is what? This is the same thing as, since it is a P is equal to P square. P is equal to P square. We can use that. So P into P is P square. P of x. And with x, it should be the same thing. Shifting P on this time, it would be P star. So this would be inner product of Px with P star of x, where x is what? Any element in x is belonging to h, any. But P star is P on a Hilbert space projection. So P star is P. Since what do we get? This is inner product of Px with Px, which is nothing but norm of Px whole square, which is clearly non-negative. So what we have is that this is always non-negative. So for self-adjoint operator, this value is always real. Not only that, but it is also non-negative. So it is what kind of operator? It's a positive operator. So a P is a positive operator. So what do we get is that 0 is less than equal to P in that notation. In other words, inner product of 0x comma x is always less than equal to inner product of Px with x. This is always 0. So the point is that for all x belonging to H. So similarly, the same kind of argument can be done for I minus P also. It's a projection on N. That would change here. So I minus P, a projection on N. So we get that 0 is what? 0 is less than equal to I minus P. 0 is less than equal to P. Okay. So what do we get from here is that this implies that P is less than equal to I. For positive operator, I is also positive operator. And this term over here, what does that imply? That implies that 0 is less than equal to P is less than equal to I. Okay. I have this thing. Invariant operator and reducing operator. So invariant. If M is a closed linear subspace of Hilbert space H, then H, suppose T is a linear operator. If T is linear operator on H, correct? T is a linear operator on H, and if suppose T of M is contained in M, then it is called as invariant. So T is a map. So T is a map from H to H, okay, and M is the subspace. So it takes objects of M. So if small m belongs to M, what does this mean? This implies that T of small m is contained in M. Okay, T of M is in H, but here it is there. So it is invariant. So it forecloses. So such operator is called as an invariant operator. So what is a reducing operator, or M is reduced by T? Okay. Or M reduces an operator. Reduces an operator if T of M is contained in M and T of M perpendicular is contained in M perpendicular. So T is invariant on M as well as M. So as previous, M is a closed subspace of H. So M perpendicular is always closed subspace of H. So if M is invariant, T and on M and M perpendicular. So this is reducing, called as the reduced. Now let's take a proposition. Here, a closed linear subspace M of H is invariant under an operator T if and only if M perpendicular is invariant under T star. Let's write a proof. let x belong to M, any element, y belonging to M perpendicular, then we consider the following: inner product of x comma t star of y. Okay. Inner product of t star of y would be the same thing as this t star going here would be t star star, which is t, inner product of tx with y. But the point is that since x is in M, and if we consider this way implication, the point is that t is M is invariant. So this over here, M is invariant under t. So tx again is in M. So this is object is in M. So this belongs to M. While this belongs to where? This belongs to M perpendicular. And the inner product would be what? This is 0. But y is any element. So what was y was taken M perpendicular and x is any. So what does this imply? See, now this implies that t star y is perpendicular to M. Okay. So in other words, t star y belongs to where? Belongs to M perpendicular. But and since y is in M perpendicular, t star of y is in M perpendicular. That shows that t star is M perpendicular is invariant under t star. So this implies that M perpendicular is invariant under t star. Okay. And since if we consider this kind of argument, so this also implies that this M perpendicular is invariant under t star star. If you assume this statement, then this is also the case. Now M perpendicular is M, so t star star is t, so that gives that is invariant under t. That proves the converse also. That clears this proposition. The fallout of this thing is the following proposition. The closed linear subspace of Hilbert space H reduces an operator T if and only M is invariant under T and T star both. Okay. So proof. So what do we have is that M reduces an operator. So T of M is contained in M, okay, and T of M perpendicular is contained in M perpendicular. So we are looking this way. Now T of M is contained in M, okay, so that is invariant. That is if and only by the previous proposition over here, if and only if T star of M perpendicular is contained in M perpendicular. And this is if and only if what happens is that T star of M perpendicular, which is M, is contained in M. The point is that T of M, so if you look at this thing, this implies this thing, this is if and only if this thing. So take this one, these two things are given. With respect to this thing, this is if and only if this thing. So these two together clearly implies that T of M is contained in M and T star of M is contained in T star of M by using previous position. So that reduces an operator. So this way proof is done. And conversely, if T reduces an operator means what? T of M. So let's write that also. If T of M is contained in M and T of M perpendicular is contained in M perpendicular, then what do we have? This is if and only if what happens is that T star of uh, M perpendicular is contained in M perpendicular, and this is if and only if T star of M perpendicular. So T star of M is contained in M. So the reduces an operator means what? So M. Okay, so this was the case. The point is that what we will do is the following. So M is invariant. So what is given? Given is that T of M is contained in M. T star of M is contained in M. But by previous, this is if and only if T of M T star of M perpendicular is contained in M perpendicular. This is if and only if T star star, which is T, and then M perpendicular is contained in M perpendicular. Okay. The point is that this term over here and this term together, if you look at, this is equivalent. So this is this and this and this. So this is equivalent to this thing. So this term and this term, that is so that T of M is M and T of M perpendicular is M perpendicular. So that means that T reduces an operator. So this is the converse part. The proposition: if P is a projection on closed linear subspace M of H, then M is invariant under an operator T if and only if Tp is equal to Ptp. So proof: if M is invariant under T, and X is an arbitrary vector in H, then T Px belongs to M. Because P is a projection, Px is in M, projection on M, and T of M is in M, so this is the case. Now since this clearly implies then Tp of X would be the same thing as this Tp of X. That's the definition of objects in M. That this is true for all X in H, so that implies that Tp is the same thing as Ptp. So conversely, if Tp is equal to Ptp and let X belong to M, any vector, then Tx is in, what would happen? Tx would be, X is in M, so T of Px it would be, X is Pm, this is X is in M, so the Tx is Px, so Tx is Px. But Tp is, this is what, then Tx is nothing but in this case Tpx, but Tp is Ptp, so this object is Ptp, Ptp of X. Okay. So that, but Ptp of X means what? P, this object is in M, so that clearly implies that M is invariant under T. Under T. Another proposition: if P is a projection on a closed linear subspace M of H, then M reduces an operator T if and only if Tp is equal to Pt. So proof. M reduces T if and only if M is invariant previous proportion under T and T star. Okay. This is if and only if Tp is equal to Ptp, again by the previous proposition. Now if you take Tp is equal to Ptp, and what would happen? T star P is equal to what? Pt star P. Let me write another. So I have this thing. So what I can say, if I have let's say and, so T star of P is equal to T star of P. You do the starring of adjoint of this thing. So this would be P star, and then T star which is T. This is if and only what is it? It will happen, and then Tp. So T star of P is equal to this thing. So what do we have from here? This and this invariant under T. So what do we get doing the star of this thing? So this is a Pt is equal to Tp. Pt is equal to Ptp from here, and but Ptp is Tp. So this is if and only clearly implies that. So Tp is equal to Pt. That proves Tp is equal to Pt, and conversely you can see that you just multiply by P on the right hand side and so on. So Tp is Ptp and so on. That finishes this section. This is another proposition. So what does it say? If P and Q are the projections on closed linear subspaces M and N of H, then M is perpendicular to N if and only if PQ is equal to 0, if and only if QP is equal to 0. So P is projection on M and Q is projection on N. So let's try to prove this thing. So proof. So if M is perpendicular to N, if M is perpendicular to N, that clearly implies that N is contained in M perpendicular. And since Q is a projection, Qx is belong to N because Q is a projection. Okay. For all x belonging to H, this clearly implies that PQ of x, P is a projection on M, so P of this is object in N, so this is 0. That clearly implies that PQ is equal to 0 because this is this thing. So conversely, what do we have? If PQ is equal to 0, then for all x belonging to n, what do we have? We have that Px is equal to, Px would be PQ of x, because x is in n, P is a projection on M, it's a null space of M, so n is in M perpendicular is the null space, so P of x is 0. So PQ of x, this is 0, because Px is 0. So that clearly implies that n is contained in M perpendicular, and clear, so M is perpendicular to n. Now what we have just shown is that PQ is 0. So this chain of things we have shown. To show the other part, it is easy. P and Q are projection on Hilbert space, so they are self-adjoint also. So PQ star is the same thing as Q star P star, but it's a self-adjoint, so it is QP. So if PQ is 0, and since 0 star is equal to 0, so PQ is equal to 0 if and only if QP is equal to 0. So these are orthogonal projections. So what we are saying is that, so later we will see why these are important.